All right. Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Blackwing Trading. We are live this morning again for day trading live. We are recently transitioned from streaming only on Friday mornings, doing Friday morning lives, to doing Monday through Friday. We are streaming at 8:15 a.m. If you're new to the channel, welcome to my channel. My name is Clinton, and on this channel, you will see futures trading, pre-market analysis, and live trades. Every morning, just so you can get a picture of what trading is like. It's my goal that if you are new to trading, if you're new to this or you're interested in this, that I can help you along your journey. So first thing I always do is like to get into the charts, and so to see kind of where we are from the big picture. I got the 4-hour chart up now, so we can kind of see the big picture of where we've been talking about. We had this big run up over the past couple of weeks, and then we got to all-time highs last week at 64.68. Took a big dip down after the Fed decision and then a bad jobs report, which dipped us all the way down almost 200 points to 62.40. Actually below, more than 200 points down to 62.40 at the low. So what the market is doing right now is recovering from that. Had a great day. Yesterday was the biggest one-day gain in some time. The market opened at like 6,300 and ended up getting up to the 6360s. And so on the ES. And so that's good for the market. But it's interesting what it did last night is it kind of traded within between the range between 6360 and 6375. And so you can see from this price action every 4 hours, if I just make this a little bit bigger here, every 4 hours, this price action was basically in between 63.60, 63.75. And even now, it was up probably about 30 minutes ago, and then the price action started going down. And now it touched 63.60 and it bounced off that a little bit. And so that's kind of where the range of where it is right now. And just interested to see what it's going to do today. So we always on this channel, I never allow the market. I never guess what the market is going to do. I look at indications, but more so I wait for the market to tell me what it's going to do. And then I trade in that direction. I do a 15-minute open range break where I wait 15 minutes to price action, draw out a caution area. And then I look for a confirmation candle, whether it's up or it's down, and I take the trade in that direction. And so that is my strategy, my one strategy. Of trading. You don't need 15 different strategies to trade. You really only need one strategy and to execute it very well. So that's my goal, is to execute a simple strategy well. So this is a price action on the 4-hour chart. If we take it in a little bit closer to the 5-minute, we can get a better picture of what it's been doing. Like I was saying before, this is 63.60 down at the bottom here. And you can see all night, as the market traded, it bounced between 63.60 up to 63.74, 75 area, came back down, traded every while, went up to 63.70, 76, 77 area, plus or minus a couple of points around 63.75, came back down to 63.60 again, traded back up there this morning. As soon as it got up there, pulled back and just bounced out 63.60. Now, we're before the open, got about 10 minutes before the open, but it's still sitting low there. And so don't know what the market's going to do. But for our planning, pre-market planning, what I like to do is look at the levels above and the levels below and try to get a gauge or estimate of where it could go. All right. So, with that being said, let me kind of go out a little bit. So if I go out here, like I said, we're at 63.60. That's where it's trading at now. If it goes down, let's say it retraces some of the territory they gained on yesterday, it could go down to 63.30. That is a supply area, 63.30s. That's definitely an area that I will look at, and it could break down below that, even down as far as low as 6,300, where it opened up yesterday. Now, do I think it's going to go that low? I don't think it is, but it could. We might have some selling on the open and it pulls back to, 63.45, which is an area that it hovered and traded around yesterday. So you can see here, this is 63.45. and it traded around there for actually almost about an hour or so in the afternoon yesterday. So it could pull back there, or it could pull back all the way to 63.30. And so those are the two areas that I'm looking at if it begins to pull back. Now, if it decides to go up, you got a lot of room to go up. 64.07 was a previous high from about 2 weeks ago. And so I have an area drawn out between basically 64.05 to 64.10. And that is definitely an area where the market traded at. If I can go back, a couple of days, we can see that I have it drawn out here. It traded around this area the other day. And so there's an area to look at of trading. Also, you do have the all-time highs of 64, 68. I don't think it's going to go that high without some type of catalyst. But like I said, I am looking for it to go as high as 64.07. 63.70s area is the area that it trades in. And then, this kind of area is open between 63.75 and 6400. And so we'll just be looking for that just to see what it does. If it decides to trade up or if it decides to trade down. But for my 15-minute opening range break, I'm going to wait for that 15 minutes of price action. And once it pops above that, if it pops above it and goes up with a 5-minute confirmation candle, I'll be looking probably to go into about 6400 if that's what the numbers look like. So we'll see, and then these other areas what we talked about. The market will tell us what it wants to do. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. All right, so we just hold that for there. A couple of things I want to talk about. So news, I always talk about news. There's not much news as far as numbers and stuff coming out today. We did have the U.S. trade deficit numbers come out though, and they came in at 60.2 billion. That's the trade deficit versus an estimate of 61 billion. So it was a little bit better. The trade deficit was a little bit better than was estimated. But the market actually didn't really react to that. Those numbers came out at 7:30, which is somewhere around here. And it was already in descent. So it just kind of kept going down. So the market really didn't care too much about it actually coming in a little bit better. It just kind of kept the trend of which it was already trading. So not too much of a deal. ISM services comes out at 9 o'clock and we'll see what that does. Usually ISM services doesn't move the market that much, but those numbers are coming out. A couple of things though, big things coming up after the bell. We got earnings. We are in earnings season. So AMD, which is a big chip maker in the United States, PC and video chip maker, they are releasing their earnings after the bell. And so people are looking to see what they're going to do. AMD is a great, like I said, semiconductor company, chip company. And so they have a pretty strong valuation. I mean, a pretty strong market cap. We're going to see what they're going to do. Companies like Rivian is going to be producing. They're going to do it as well. So we'll see what those earnings numbers are, but those are going to be after the bell. So there may be some run up in those names until those numbers are released. That is about it for the numbers. We want to take a look at kind of like what the top companies in the S&P 500 are doing. We kind of look at those. So here's Apple. Apple is trading basically, hasn't moved too much from where it was yesterday on the close. So it's still kind of in that range, nothing, major. Broadcom is another chip company. They're trading up a little bit. They had took a dip. They were up in the 300s. 306 is a high, and then they took a dip last week, came down, and then came back up. And so the semiconductor, sector is something that we're paying attention to with chips, AI, and all those things. And so Broadcom powers a broadband of different chips, in different devices. And so they're a very important chip company. And I say they're in the top 10 of the S&P 500. Tesla is down a little bit from their close yesterday. Not too much, but they are still above $300. NVIDIA, they are actually climbing up a little bit. We're about to pop that 180 again. They've been trading, very high. Their high was 185 a little bit earlier. One of the big names, though, I want to plug to is Palantir. So Palantir had their earnings yesterday after the bell, and they took a big jump up. You can see they went from about 160 all the way up to 170s, 172, and they're still trading up right now. So a lot of people are trading in Palantir. They had a $1 billion quarter in earnings, and so it's like their first one. And their valuation is climbing. They're a big AI player. A lot of their revenue is tied to the government contracts and AI. And so you can see that they've been trading high, popping all-time highs right now.
At Domino's, you can get 2 medium, 2-topping pizzas for only $6.99 each. So while your family...
A couple other companies, Meta had strong earnings last week, and they went up, pulled back a little bit just to take some profits, but guess what? The market still likes them, and they're climbing back up almost to where they were at after the day of their opens, which is in the 780s. And so they're continuing to gain that ground. And then Microsoft as well. Microsoft had great earnings, more profit taking on them, and they haven't climbed up to those 560 areas. But they are still, hovering about half of that from where they were. They were at $500. Now they're at like about 537. So they've retraced about half of the gain that they got after they had their earnings. And so those are companies to look at. And NASDAQ is comprised by a lot of these companies, and they're in the S&P 500 as well. But the NASDAQ is looking, if we look at the NASDAQ is they're looking where they're positive by about 50 points, and then the ES futures are what we are trading, sitting at 63.61 right now. The market is about to open here in less than a minute, so we can see that it's bouncing out 63.60. So I'm just gonna look and see and wait and see what happens there around 63.60. If you're on, jump on. Just let me know you're on in the comments. If you don't mind, just jump in those comments and let me know that you're on. Let me know that you're on the stream. I love to have your interaction. I appreciate you joining on to this channel. So I'm gonna be streaming every day now, just so you can see my trading. And if you're new to the channel, if you don't know, I am a Top Step funded trader. I'm gonna go back to my regular trading screen. I trade with Top Step, and so this is my execution screen. I do all my analysis on Thinkorswim. That was an opening bell there, but I do my trading and executions on Top Step. So we got a lot of volume coming in. I have my volume overlap so I can see that. It jumps in my scan. You can see that there's a lot of buying coming in there. Oh, and that just turned to selling. Okay. We don't chase anything and run out the first couple of candles of price action. So I'm gonna see what we got here. Look like it broke below 63.60 for a little bit. Let's see if it's gonna continue to go down. Just to reiterate again, those key levels, 63.45 is a key level. It traded at 63.45 yesterday. You can see it hit that. If we look at the chart from yesterday, this is 63.45. It consolidated there for about 30 minutes or so, took a small move up, and then came back down to the area, and then still traded around 63.45 plus or minus a few points. Went up, came back down, and then it bounced off of it for the close up until 63.62, 63. So it could definitely come down here to 63.45 if that's where it's going to go to, and then anchor off that point, and then maybe go back go back up or down depending upon what the price action wants to do. Yeah, it look like it's still trying to pop up around 63.60. Doesn't want to go too far below that so far on this first candle of price action. One of the things that's affecting the market, the Nasdaq is going up because Palantir is on the Nasdaq, but President Trump has been going back and forth with pharma companies. You know, he put on, I believe it was on Truth Social, that the pharma tariffs could go to 250%. And then also we have some tensions with India because India is taking Russian oil. And so they're working out trade deals with them. But he's going to announce tariffs on the semiconductors and pharmaceutical imports within the next week or so. So his goal is to try to get pharma manufacture in the U.S. If you didn't know, a lot of the pharmaceuticals are overseas in Europe. A lot was from China. And so we're importing those things from overseas. And he's putting tariffs on them in a move to try to get them to onshore, possibly drive some, doing some stuff in the United States. And so that's shaking the markets a little bit with the new tariffs. And tariffs are starting to affect the markets, affect, prices and consumer goods and stuff like that. So we'll see how it affects the market today. Even though I mentioned just AMD on earnings, there's a lot of companies that are releasing earnings. Like I said, this is earnings season for all companies. So you got like 400 companies releasing earnings today in various market caps. Some of them do it before the bell, before market open, and then some do after market close. It's either one of those two things. Earnings aren't released during the trading day. They either happen before trading that morning or they happen after. And there's conference calls and things to kind of talk about the companies where they're putting out guidance and things and talking about their earnings and all that stuff and what they want to do in the future. So all right, we got a second candle here, and it looked like it's trying to push up, just push beyond the 9-day exponential moving average, just playing around that area. I'm gonna see if it's anchor up or not. It was a pretty big dip down on the open, and then now it's trying to push back up. And we'll let it do what it does. Once we get that second candle and we can kind of see what direction it's going to go, we're going to draw out our caution area. I draw out a rectangle on my chart for that 15-minute opening range break, just so I can see visually, okay, this is where it's above it, it's below it. And this kind of helps me trade around that area. They're moving up a little bit, trying to get the VWAP. I only have two indicators on my chart. I have VWAP, which is a volume weighted average price. This indicator is very important because it lets you know who's in control, buyers or sellers. Okay, it's got a strong push up there. I'm going to continue to look at it. And then I have the 9-day exponential moving average, which is a better close-in indicator of what direction it's going to go. And so those are the only ones I do. But for the most part, I'm looking at price action and levels. I trade better with those. Price action seems to be more reliable about where it's going to go. And we can see once it begins to trade above or below a certain area, you can kind of anticipate, okay, I'm going to take the trade in this direction or that direction. I don't think it's going to come back there, but I would love to get in at around about 63.60 and trade if it's going up. All right, we hit that third candle. Look like we got an uptrend now. Throw this caution area up. All right. And we adjust these properties here. So, all right, I take this out to the end of the day, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. Put this right for the open. $63, $68.50 and about $63, $57.50. There we go. All right. Now it is good that we're above that 9 exponential moving average and now just broke above VWAP as well. So that's a sign that it looks like it wants to start going up. Uh-oh. Like it's coming back. Let's see if it's going to bounce off the 9 EMA. Look like that's kind of like what it was doing. Just gonna sit here and wait patiently. And at first, I thought it was going to definitively start moving up, but now it's kind of pulling back just a little bit. But you do see that sometimes. That's why I draw the 15-minute opening range break area out. And it may look like it's doing one thing, but it does another. I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. Looking for definitively up here or either down below. In which direction it's gonna make. These, I know this may seem a little bit confusing, but the stuff that you at the bottom of the chart, that's my overlapping volume. I like to have my volume like that. Sorry if that's distracting to anyone, but I like to show my volume like that. All right, coming up on the end of this candle, and it hasn't broken our area yet, so we'll wait.
The best way to beat the Texas heat this summer is with TXU Energy Ultimate Season Pass. Not with an oversized umbrella hat? Not when you can get 50.
Starting to ink up on VWAP a little bit. All right, there it is, breaking above the area. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got. Oh, it's going up to 6370. Okay. That's how I usually wait for a confirmation candle after this. Or I like to get in actually when it pulls lower, closer to the edge instead of when it's high. Oh, yeah, there's a strong push up. Okay. Let's see if it's gonna maintain this. I'm looking for the next candle, confirmation candle. If it's gonna pull back or if it's gonna continue to go up. I'm gonna be just a little cautious here when it gets around 63, 74, 75. If I do go long after this candle here, because that was like the pre-market high. So see if it actually breaks through that or not. Okay, pulling back a little bit. Gonna come up on this next candle here. It actually went below the area. That right, and that is pulling back. So this is an example. I'm gonna see what this candle does, but this is an example why I do a 5-minute confirmation candle, so we can see that, an initial look like it was about to go up, and then it start pulling back, and now on the confirmation candle it's pull back down to VWAP. It's anchoring off VWAP though, so I want to see what it's going to do. See, it just popped below that right now. It looks kind of weak. It doesn't look strong. It could basically reverse and start making its way down. We'll just sit here and look and see what it does. It did bounce off the EMA, the 9 EMA. It looks like it's starting to come up now. Now, this is kind of anticipating if you believe it's going to go up. I mean, there's a case to be made where you could go long. If you think it's going to go long, you could go long at VWAP. And if it goes up, you're in a good position as it makes its way up to have a good trade. But for me, I like to make sure I have that confirmation candle be above that area, so I know that that's the trend it's going to do. Because another possibility is this thing could turn around and start descending and then actually make it turn down. And then, we're on the opposite side of the trade. Still got a few minutes on this candle. Not looking particularly strong right now. Okay. Yeah, it's going above the area. That we got a new candle that's coming, so I want to see what this new candle is going to do. Now, one thing we can see here is that the 9 EMA is crossing above VWAP. That's a good thing. That points to an upward trend. And this is going down. Haven't entered the trade yet, just because it's not making a definitive move. Matter of fact, it's kind of going down right now. Let me see, this is to make this a little bit bigger. It sold down and then it bought up and it looked like it was about to make a trend up, but you can see like we had this big red candle down now, below VWAP, and it pushed down a little bit. So it's a lot of back and forth chop price action. This is why I like the 15-minute opening range break, because you know, if it's in this my gray box here, lets me know that it hasn't broken and made a trend either up or down. And, you know, some people are scalpels or things like that. You know, there are a lot of trades that you could have took now. You know, you could have took some short scalps on these 5-minute candles if you're that type of trader. And that's fine, but I'm not that type of trader. So I like to catch a longer trend, you know, in either direction. And so when I trade for success with me is doing my 15-minute opening range break and, you know, taking that trade confirmation candle, taking in the direction that the market is going, and then, you know, and then taking profits. That was a pretty strong candle down, though. All right, so got about 2 minutes on this candle. At 9 o'clock, usually the market does something different versus its trend or whatever. So that'll be 30 minutes of price action. In the whole grand scheme of things, it really hasn't picked its direction yet. It's kind of going sideways. First candle down, then went back up, and then up down a little bit. Went up for a little bit, faked us up, faked us out, and then came down. Went down, now it's going down. So it's really kind of chop, what we call chop, where it's not really picking that direction yet. And, depending on how the market feels today, I mean, it could be for 30 minutes, could be for an hour, where you have this chop. Wow.
The market is open.
That was a strong candle down. Very strong candle down. I don't know what precipitated that, whether it's some news or something like that. I'm interested to see. But that was a strong candle down.
Introducing AG1 now.
Let's see what it does here. I'm just trying to wait for this to settle out. I'm leaning towards going short now, just because of those strong 2 candle moves down right now. I'm going to see if it comes back up to 63.60. All right, I'm going to see if it can 53.57. Actually, let me take that back. I'm going to see what it does here. I was going to go in at 63.57. Oh, well, shoot, it kept going down. Let me see if this next candle goes up. If it doesn't, if it goes down, we're going in short.
Order filled.
All right, there we go. I might have went in prematurely. All right, so I'm on the order screen now. I might have went in prematurely because it looked like it wants to try to anchor back up. I'm only risking $200 for this. Okay. It's making its way down. Okay. So we talked about 63.45 being the area it could go to. All right, we go back to the Thinkorswim. You can see 63.45 is an area it can touch here, trading around that. So I have my take profit around that area. Come on now.
Order filled.
All right, well, got chopped on that one. So that was a $200 loss. No big deal. Let me see what it's going to do now. If it's going to try to come all the way back up or what it's going to do. Just want to wait for a little bit instead of jumping right back in. No, now it looks like it wants to continue that trend down. Let's see if it comes back up to around about 54 or so. Or if it's going to continue to go down. I'm going to take that out for right now and wait for this next candle at 10 minutes after 9. Now, it's low like this. Could definitely go long here, but I'm going to wait. I would like to go long if it actually hits the 9 EMA and it's above the 9 EMA, which is this green line right here. And that's about 63.60 right now. So if it hits that and goes above, I will go long to see if this is just, a fake out where it's sold down and then now it's about to make its way up. I don't want to go long down here though, because it could easily turn around and go down. Doesn't look like it wants to though. Look like it wants to go back down. The sellers are pulling it back down. That's why we have this long wick candle, this long wick. Look like it wants to go back down. I'm gonna see if it's gonna come back up to that area. I'll be comfortable going short there too. I don't think it's going to turn around right now. That's not what it looks like, but it's definitely haven't or isn't making definitive down either. $50 could be a good anchor point. Oh, I got another candle coming here shortly. Look like it's probably bouncing out 50, 63.50. All right, I'm just looking at this. It did make its way down right there now. Let me see if it bounces out 63.45. Just trying to see which will be the best trade here. Is it going to bounce out 63.45? Because if it bounces out 63.45, I want to go long. But if it goes below 63.45, I want to go short and ride it down to 63.30. Yeah, go back to the Thinkorswim chart so y'all can see what I'm thinking here. Like I say, it on 63.45, it traded there, and I could go long. Go short here, but if it bounces out 63.45, it could make its way up. So it's probably better to go long once it goes below here. Go short once it goes below here, and then ride it down. Oh yeah, it's going below that now.
When your feet are up and they're not coming down, order Olive Garden delivery. When a
Decisions. All right, so there's a new candle. What are you gonna do? Look like you are going down. It's pushing down further.
Order filled.
All right, so decided to go long at go short at 63.45. Still have my be a little bit more vigilant now for moving to break even on that previous trade. I probably could have went to break even a little bit earlier because they had made a move down. That way I wouldn't have lost. But I want to bring this down to 63.30. I'm risking 200, so once I get above 200 on the risk, once the trade is above 200, I'm gonna bring my stop there. Yeah, I was just being patient. Yeah, I believe it's going to go down to 63.30, 63.35 area. I don't like what it's doing there. Okay. Uh, all right, as soon as it gets down there, actually, I'm gonna set it at 150. All right, there we go, baby. Keep going down. So I can set this stop at 200. Okay. I'm gonna write this one down to make sure. Okay, so that's 300. So stop set at 262. So I make 262 out of this no matter what. But I do want to write it down.
Order filled.
All right, so that was 262. Trade for 262 brought me up back to the positive from that previous trade. Let's sit here, see what it's going to do. Two trades today so far. One against me, one for me. The one for me is a little bit above for my stop, bringing down to the risk. Probably the way it's looking now, probably could have just been a little bit more patient. Trade I'm looking at now, I don't want to follow it down anymore. I'll be looking for a bounce around 63.30, 63.35 and try to ride it up. All right, come up on 9:30, 1 hour market price action. Yeah, and that candle went way up. Go back here, look and see what we got. Sitting here. Let's see what price action is going to give us, if it's going to go up or come down. Okay. See, is it consolidating around this area now for a move up? Nope. Seem to be moving back down. Okay. Once again, they're sitting here. I'm more inclined to wait till it hits and bounces from wherever it's going to bounce from. You know, this area where it's trading at now is where it kind of did some consolidation yesterday for about from 9 to 11 o'clock. You know, it was trading somewhere between 30 and 40, 63.30, 63.40 and some change. So it just kind of went back and forth, but it was really consolidating, trading in that range. And so now it seems to be kind of in that area now, not going all the way down to 63.30s, 35 and 30, but it's just trading here.
Thinking about a career in nursing? Think Chamberlain University. Thinking about where to begin? Begin.
Yeah, 63.37. Okay, now it's making his move down into that range. A lot of trading is waiting and being patient. Yeah, I think I want to get long at 63.30. All right, let's see what you're going to do. 63.30, 75. All right. Look like it wants to pull up from around that area. Let me see, can I go long here? Oh, I already missed it. Tried to go long at 63.31 and it already went above that.
Order filled.
All right, so let's see what we got. Ooh.
Order filled.
Gosh darn it, already. And it's going down below that. I shouldn't have took that. I was anticipating too much. Anticipating a bounce back instead of looking at parameters for a bounce back.
Order filled.
Okay, let me get out of this trade. All right, I'm done for the day. All right, I messed up on that. I allowed too much risk on that trade, and now I'm down. So, all right, so this is a bad day. Yesterday was a good day. Today is a bad day, but I got in when I shouldn't have got in, and the market is still going down, anticipating, thinking it was gonna go up, but it didn't. All right, that happened. So you can see the losses and you can see the gains. I'm just so I can go to the screen so you can see it. I am down about $600 right now from those two trades because this candle killed me going down instead of waiting. So it's actually going down to like 63.20 now. 63.20. So no big deal. No big deal. Like I said, call this a bad day and then move on, instead of continuing the trade and making a bad day worse. So, but it happens in trading. It happens in trading. So, thank you for jumping on the stream with me. If you jumped on the screen, always thankful. Make sure you can share this if you can with other people to see if they can, if they are interested in this. If not, until we meet again, I will see you on tomorrow. Thank you for jumping on the stream with me one more time.